You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows like the one you're about to enjoy, visit electronicmediacollective.com. And now, our feature presentation.
The following broadcast is brought to you by Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. Marked Out Wrestling Podcast is not affiliated, nor do our opinions reflect those of WWE, NXT, TNA, Ring of Honor, New Japan, or any other professional wrestling promotion.
Ross is all over Peyton Royce.
I'm going to take the NXT Women's Championship. Do you hear me? I'm going to take.
Heading on down to breathe the air. Shut up! I don't understand Spanish. No Spanish. This is my dream. I'm on my stage. Only strong. Es el segundo. Shut up!
He's not strong, he's not king. He will not be NXT champion.
Covers and DIY retain. Authors of pain from behind on the champions.
On up there!
Marked Out Wrestling Podcast brings you the weekly Takedown.
We got a great show for you here in our goddamn lockbox. Yes.
Hey.
Hey, Brian.
Hey, man.
Hey, bud.
Hey.
You all the way down there at the end of the table.
I'm here. Hey.
It's like one of those movies where the husband and wife sit on like the 20-foot table. Like, can you pass the pepper? And you got to stand up and walk 20 feet, hand the pepper, go back. Hey, can I get the salt too?
Right. I drive a Dodge Stratus.
Ooh, a Stratus.
Like that.
Yeah.
Those kinds of families.
Those kind of families.
I get it.
That's weird.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, NXT, this is a Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. It's our weekly takedown show talking about NXT from the January 11th edition of NXT on the WWE Network. We got Roadie Rob here. We got Brian, our former indie great legend of the East Coast professional wrestling.
That's a lot.
That's a lot.
That's a lot to say.
Well, you were a legend in my mind.
Oh, thank you, sir.
You're the only one I can remember from the roster. The absolute only one. I got to put the video on. I didn't put the video on yet. I'm just slack, aren't
That's
I?
okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Oh.
No, still not it.
Nope.
Yeah. It's our third, fourth show.
That's okay.
Yeah, it's all right. We'll
Working
figure
out
it
the kinks.
All right, so here we go. We got the takedown for you tonight. We're going to do, obviously, our takedown.
Yep.
Our topics of takedown. And then we got our spotlight segment, and we're going to talk about who, Brian?
Mr. Samoa Joe.
Samoa the Joe.
Mm-hmm.
The Joe of Samoa.
King Joe.
King Joe. Okay. And we'll do a little, during the open, maybe we'll talk about the Nakamura interview. We're not going to throw that in the topics. And, I don't know. We got a bunch of stuff to talk about. So, let's go ahead and do this first so that we can get into it.
Housekeeping!
No, think you're sleeping.
Housekeeping!
You come back in an hour.
Here are your Marked Out Wrestling housekeeping notes. Follow us on Twitter and chat with us throughout the week at SmartMarkShow. Send your thoughts and opinions via our email, markedoutpodcast@gmail.com. Follow us to get a better look inside our faction on Instagram at Marked Out Wrestling. Call us during a live broadcast or leave a message for a future show on our U Record Studios fan line, 704-444-0084. Like us on Facebook to argue politics and religion at facebook.com/markedout1. That's marked out the number 1. Finally, see what is coming up throughout the week on our website, www.markedoutwrestling.com. Get connected.
Housekeeping, you want me to jerk you off?
What kind of hotel is this?
Oh, it's you.
Can you dig it, sucker?
So before we get started on the actual takedown itself, a couple program notes for us on the board. First, let's introduce the board.
Yes, let's do it.
We've got Thomas Struble, if I said it right. If not, we'll just call you Thomas.
What's up, Thomas?
Hey, Thomas. Jonathan Duran just jumped on. Wow, that's going to be fun then.
There we go.
Berto jumped on for a second. He said, fuck Bob, see you Monday. So I guess we'll see Berto.
Bob's not even here.
Yeah, he just came in to...
He just wanted to just throw that out there into the universe?
Dig it in.
Okay.
Right? Dig it in. And he said, I forgot CM Punk will return one day. No, stop dreaming. Steve Austin was on the board, and JVL Shadow, we saw him jumping in there just a second ago as well.
Cool.
So there we go. Also, program note, For the podcast listeners on iTunes, Podbean, Stitcher, Witcher, Dickory-Doo, all the other places, we will not have the next 2 episodes will not be of Takedown will be YouTube exclusive. And I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to break kayfabe and tell you why.
Okay.
Because we want our Royal Rumble episode to be 100, since it's our anniversary show.
I have no problem with that.
Then we have to cut a couple of these out to be able to achieve that.
Yeah.
So that's what we're doing. Deal with it. Here we go. It is this week's Takedown, and let's look at the topics for tonight's Takedown, or this afternoon's Takedown, I should say,
Afternoon. A late afternoon.
Late afternoon.
If that.
We don't have any windows, so it always feels like night in here.
It does. I do kind of feel like I'm like locked in, if you will.
You're in a lockbox.
This is the lockbox. That's right. All
right, let's see. Here we are. Topic number 1 is going to be double cross. Topic number 2, growing on me? Maybe? Number 3, prepare to be neutered. Yes, those are your topics. Let's do number 1. Topic number 1 is going to be double cross. So, acts, if you want to do the acts. I did acts. I
thought that was interesting.
You like that? Acts for the whole show? Not like Axe body spray, but like ACT.
ACT.
Acts.
Not like he axed me.
Yeah.
Right.
Double axe handle.
Sure.
Yeah.
There we go.
So acts 1 through 3 and number 9. Here's the questions we have for this one. So obviously we're setting up the Fatal 4-Way at TakeOver San Antonio with Peyton, Billie Kay, Nikki Cross, and Asuka for the title, because we started out the show with Asuka getting the parking lot beat down.
Yeah.
Which we see quite often in NXT.
I mean, it's the tried and true way of kind of, knocking the face out before the match, and it works.
Does it get old at all to you, Brian?
Here's the thing that I had a problem with.
Okay.
You could see other people that were kind of about 5 feet away that weren't kind of interjecting or anything.
Yeah, like
I thought that was a little strange.
5 extremely large men,
watching
2 girls beat up with little girl, and they're like, "Oh, let's watch this shit."
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I thought that added an interesting element. Whether they did that on purpose or not, I don't know. But I mean, I think overall, that angle works.
All right, let's take a call here. You're on with Marked Out Wrestling Podcast. Who we got on the line?
This is Samoa Joe.
It's Samoa Joe.
Wow, Joe.
Joe is with us?
I want my championship belt right now. I'm tired of that Shinsuke Nakamura stealing my chances.
Well, I think
that piece of shit William Regal not giving me any title shots.
Well, I think you went around the world and you didn't quite get it done, Joe. Sorry.
That's true.
Maybe
you did have your chance.
Maybe on the main roster.
Shinsuke Nakamura had chance after chance, and I beat him twice on NXT.
Well, congratulations. Shit comes around.
Yeah.
You couldn't hold your own. So now you can go ahead and move on to the main roster and maybe get some good AJ Styles feuding going on. How about that?
Hey, you know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to go to the Royal Rumble and whoop everybody's ass.
Joe, what number are you going in?
7.
7?
Okay.
I didn't pick number 7, so I'm not going to get a Joe tattoo.
Okay.
All right.
I'm hoping Scott Steiner isn't there. I don't want him to call me fat again.
Well, Joe, we appreciate it. Good luck to you, bud. And
thank you.
Yeah, man.
By the way, there's just a quick thing over here. Remember, Return to the Gavinstone. Watch it this weekend.
I'm gonna watch the shit.
You, Shinsuke.
Watching the hell out of it. See you, Joe. All right, so back to topic number 1.
He's a company guy. I like that he plugged the movie.
Yeah, he's good. He's good for that.
Right.
Him and Sean, maybe they're roommates.
Who knows?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Times get tough and you get older. Maybe you take on a roommate. I don't know. So we got Juan is on the board as well. Hello, Juan.
What's up, Juan?
So we saw the opening beat down in the parking lot. You're right. The 4 dudes watching the assault basically going on, doing nothing, which is funny. Billie Kay and Peyton Royce, we saw them in tag team action. And who was it? It was Macy Evans and Sarah Bridges.
Right.
And I got to say, Macy Evans was rocking those Sergeant Slaughter boots.
She was.
Yeah,
she definitely was.
I was digging that part. Sarah Bridges, not really a lot of timing mistakes, but obviously she's an upstart doing the job for some of the more seasoned developmental people in Billy and Peyton, right?
Yeah, I mean, essentially, I think that match was just to get Peyton and get Billie Kay to look as strong as possible going into the 4-way. So
sure,
yeah,
absolutely.
I think it was a good match in that sense.
So we saw with Asuka at the end. How did she say it? All of them when she said that she wanted to book the match, all of them. So obviously fatal 4-way.
Yeah.
And by the way, I love William Regal's facial expressions to the whole thing. He just always looks like he's got a poop and he's enjoying it, kind of thing. It's like, I don't know. Okay, that's maybe a bad example. Here's a couple questions. Is a 4-way a way for Asuka to lose the belt and still stay undefeated?
I mean, they've done it before, and like we've been saying, wrestling is it's formula.
Good God.
Formula. Oh my God.
Oh wow.
Formulamatic.
It works off of formulas.
Yes. Holy shit.
Wow.
I had a moment right there.
Formula One.
Right.
Yeah. Well done, Ryan.
So yeah, I could see that. I could see them doing that to get the belt off of her and maybe put it on someone without her necessarily looking weak.
Okay. Well, I don't know if but if the belt comes off, then you got to think that she's ready for the main roster. I don't see a need
Not
for her.
necessarily. I mean, why she can lose it and still stick around. She hasn't really been there for that long.
You're absolutely right. She could stick around, have another feud. I'm just okay. So for me, this match does a couple things. One, it sets Billy Kay and Peyton Royce up for maybe a split and maybe a rivalry of their own, because I don't think either one of them are ready for the actual title hunt.
Sure.
Yeah,
I can see that.
This is just this is a little injection of push is what this is for them. But if you look at what's her name, Nikki Cross, she's new, she's fascinating, and she's in there. But here's my biggest thing. The biggest question I have, so we're leaving Ember Moon out. Ember Moon is being passed over for this. So are we saving Ember Moon and Asuka maybe for the Mania takeover?
I mean, but they haven't even teased that. I feel like if that was something that was gonna, well, I guess we're still a few months away. So,
well, you want top talent at the Mania takeover, right? No,
sure.
Takeover Orlando. You need top talent to fill that card. I'm thinking
maybe that's what we see at this. Maybe they plant the seed at the next at Royal Rumble.
Maybe, and maybe if Nikki Cross gets over, maybe she gets that spot. But to me, Ember Moon right now is the most dynamic woman on the roster aside from Asuka, right? So that to me would be the highlight match for the women's division there. We got Steve Awesome, Jonathan was saying, "Wow, Samoa Joe is a nice guy." Apparently,
he really is.
Yeah, he was apparently a very nice guy. JVL Shadow. Who else can Alexa feud with? SmackDown needs some talent. Moon becomes champ. Alexa versus Bliss. Or Asuka versus Bliss, rather. I don't know.
We're also forgetting Mickie James is going to be in the fold somewhere, too.
Yeah, where's Mickie James? You had that somebody you said was being brought up to the women in NXT. Do you remember who that was? It was on a show, the last couple shows. Doesn't matter.
Yeah, I don't know.
We got Candice LeRae, possibly. We heard the rumor Rumble she could be signed. So,
I mean, I'm counting the days for her, but I haven't heard anything.
I don't know. Asuka and Bliss, we had that on NXT, didn't we? I want to say it didn't make huge waves. No, I don't know. And Sanity, and the other question I have from this is Sanity.
Mm-hmm.
If Nikki Cross does happen to get the title from Asuka, and then we saw what's his name, Eric Young, make the comment, "This is the beginning. This is where we start. We're taking everything." So does that mean that possibly after Nakamura Rude, we have Eric Young propelling his way to the title? Does that big hairy dude, join up with the other dude, and they form a tag team, and somehow they get involved with the tag belts? Could Sanity be a full gold faction?
I mean, that seems to be their aim.
And we haven't seen that in a long time from any promotion. We haven't seen a faction that just dominates belts.
Jericho, can you count that?
Jericho. Well, a faction.
No, I know. I'm kidding.
A faction.
I'm kidding.
All right, let's move on.
2.
All right, topic number 2 is growing on me. So this is going to cover both the Elias Samson versus his name was Cruz. That's all I know, Cruz. And then we had the Cien Almas versus Oni Lorcan. I say it right this week?
Oni Lorcan, you got it.
Oni Lorcan. So
it's Jonathan Cruz, by the way.
Jonathan Cruz. Mm-hmm. Thank you, Jonathan Cruz. Jonathan Cruz was impressive in a cruiserweight kind of manner for me. He was around the ring. He took some bumps.
Definitely did.
Good sells.
Yeah,
really
absolutely.
good sells. So if he was going to take anything away from that match, I would say that he had great sells for that match.
And the one thing I definitely noticed, especially in this match, was that he was getting in a little bit of offense.
Yeah.
And I mean, he was getting there was a sequence when he was getting a couple roll-ups right away. Then Samson cut him off, but I mean, for the most part, I was surprised at how much he actually got in with Samson. And I mean, Samson also did his part too. So I thought it was a great match as far as them playing their roles.
To me, it felt like there was kind of I don't want to say a monster push like a Braun Strowman, but it definitely felt close to it. Like they were pushing Samson as kind of a monster.
Yeah.
I mean, he was vulnerable. Obviously, he took some shots, but he recovered very quickly, and then he was very, very aggressive.
Yeah.
And we've seen this before, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So let's main roster here. Bo Dallas. Bo Dallas does Social Outcast. He's kind of stupid and goofy. I
don't think he was ever really the overpowering kind of enforcer that Elias seems to be.
But when they repackaged him and brought him back, and he was the angry Bo.
Sure.
He was extremely vicious, but nobody bought it.
Right.
Nobody bought it.
Well, it's tough to come back.
Yeah. And with Samson, he gets a lot of heat from the crowd, mainly because of his opening.
I love it.
I do too.
I don't. Good. Thank you. I'm glad that we're on the same page with that.
No, I do. I'm like, this is. I love how the crowd they vilify him for that.
I would love to know if he can actually play the guitar or if he just learned.
I
personally don't play, so I can't say whether or not he does or not. But I've
taken some lessons, and it looks like he plays like one or two chords. So I don't think he's probably a well.
Sure. But I think that just makes it even better that he almost kind of portrays the fact that he's better than he actually is.
And the songs suck.
It does.
They do. It absolutely.
I'm going to the ring.
Wow.
I think that's what he says.
Yeah.
I'm walking to the ring.
But his persona when he does it is just this. I'm gonna shit in your Cheerios. I don't know. I like it. So the thing is growing on me is Samson himself. We talk about Almas, and we'll get to him in a minute. But Samson is growing on me. And I hope it's not necessarily the brutality, but just the overall character of I almost feel sorry for his character. Not for him, but for the character, because it just seems like he can't get a break. The crowd hates him. I'm Fruity Pebbling into this one.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying?
Let me ask you. So what happens, say, in the not so distant future, he gets a promotion and goes to either Raw or SmackDown. What happens if they shorten his entrance and they don't give him the time to go out there and sit there for about a minute or two and play the guitar? And then, because that's pretty much where he draws most of his heat.
Well, we've read that book, right? We've read that book.
Adam Rose.
Wade Barrett, either one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we've read that book. They get on the main roster and squash, something that got over really great with the fans. And again, we've talked about it before that NXT fans and main roster TV taping fans are not necessarily the same. NXT fans are more wrestling fans. They are more smart marks. They are there for the wrestling product. When a lot of these cities, you'll get people come out just because wrestling's in town, just like the circus comes to town.
Let's go to the matches.
Yeah. Hey, did you hear the WWF is in town? Kind of, it's whatever.
Yeah.
Kind of, so I don't know. To me, Samson, I don't. You gave me that list, and he was on. I think
he's on it. He was definitely on it.
You had this list here. Let me pull it up here. The list of these are people that are being groomed for moving up to the main roster, and he was on that list with Ty and Alexander Wolf and Cien Almas, Johnny Gargano and Ciampa. Shinsuke actually was on this list too. TM61, which we know that somebody's hurt there. We'll talk about that in a little bit. Hideo Itami. I don't know who this Cassius. Oh no, I don't know him.
Chris Hero.
Okay.
He hasn't debuted on television yet, but I believe it was last week. He showed up at a live event.
Okay.
And he's gonna be they already announced he's gonna be wrestling the same weekend for Evolve as Chris Hero, but he's also gonna be wrestling in some capacity or gonna be at Takeover in San Antonio.
So he's not gonna. So according to this, he's not spending a lot of time on NXT.
No, I mean he's one of the. Well, I mean this just happened. So plus, I mean he's one of the guys. He's
right.
I believe he's 38 years old. He's been wrestling just as long as
right.
He cut his teeth with CM Punk. So yeah, he's not one of those guys that's going to be sticking around training there. And
so we got this article,
sure.
And when we get to the open, we can discuss this more because there's some interesting facts on here.
Yeah, definitely.
So we'll see. I just think Samson's growing on me in a Fruity Pebble kind of way and in a Mark kind of way. I'm enjoying both aspects of his character. The other part of this category would be Cien Almas, and obviously he's done with Lorcan now, right?
Yeah.
Moving on.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what's up for Lorcan next. Not really interested, honestly. I don't really.
Really?
Well, I mean,
this is our first fight.
Well, I know you like him, but I don't know him. I don't know him beyond this rivalry, really.
Sure.
And
but you said that you've enjoyed the matches that you've seen between the two of them.
I absolutely have. And will I enjoy any matches that he has going forward? I probably will. But that doesn't mean that I'm invested in his character.
Okay,
no.
I can accept that.
I'm invested in Cien Almas, especially tonight with the promo he cut, and he's very much a villain, and I very much want. And again, we'll get to that list, but he's set, according to this list, he is set to be advanced to the main roster. And I want this to be his year. I want him to be NXT 2017.
I mean, we can argue that list, for hours, but I mean, the fact that he's on there, I mean, he could be on the tail end of it, so I don't think he's going anywhere. I think he's going to be in NXT
for a good while.
Through the year.
Yeah, I don't think he's ready to go up unless, like we talked about before, that Vince is salivating for that Latino villain, and he does have experience in the indies where he could go to the main roster and be a robot.
He just has. Me personally, I think he has just a natural ability where it's just easy to hate him.
Yeah.
And, that's just if you put him, it doesn't matter if it's on NXT or in front of a SmackDown crowd or a Raw crowd. I think that if you just give him the time, it's just going to gravitate to him.
Maybe. I just, every great talent scares me when you say main roster. I'm petrified that all these great talents go there, and then they end up getting Tyler Breeze.
Roll the dice, I mean, you really don't know what you're going to get.
No idea. Who was the Kings of Wrestling? You know who that is? Who is that?
That was Chris Hero and Cesaro.
Oh, it's Cesaro.
During their Ring of Honor days.
Really? I did not know that.
And in fact, Chris Hero was supposed to be CM Punk had said that Chris Hero, he was supposed to be the third guy in the Shield.
Right? And they put
and they're like, no, it's going to be Liaki. Right?
Yeah,
it's going to be so. Chris Hero, I mean, he's right up there as far as being well respected from his peers, and people want to work with him. So it's no secret that WWE signed him because of that.
Yeah, we got another phone call. Who we got on the line? Did you eat some Pizza Hut? What's going on? You all right?
Is that Taker?
2 years ago, Brock Lesnar stole my legacy.
Huh?
On this Royal Rumble, I will make sure there's hell to pay. Brock Lesnar, Goldberg, you will rest in peace.
Wow, we're getting all the celebrities on the day, aren't
Seriously.
we? Fuck right. The dead man.
What is it? Thursday? Thursday at 3:30?
Thursday at 3:30.
Wow.
I know.
Okay.
They're all fucking watching.
Yeah, everyone's
great. Well, we're a hit. All right, cool. So all right, moving on here.
Three.
Oh, but yeah, just with the what you call the what do you say? The Kings of Wrestling.
Kings of Wrestling.
Yeah, JVL.
Yeah, what do you say?
JVL was saying that he was looking forward to a reunion of those guys.
Oh, man,
Was it that good?
It was that good. And actually, you know what? This is one of the matches that maybe I'll if you should look it up or I'll tweet it out. It was the Kings of Wrestling against CM Punk and a young Seth Rollins back in NXT. It was when Punk was on the tail end of his of his wrestling career, I guess, right now. But they had just it was just a regular NXT tag match, but they actually allowed the four of them to go at it, and it's you got to watch it.
Okay, all right. You always send me the videos, and if you're gonna tweet one for the world, I'll watch it again. He said Thomas says Taker sounds a lot like Joe. They maybe they eat the same catering, and
that's
it's
true.
Kind of it's like women on their periods. They're syncing up. Maybe the voice patterns are getting kind of similar.
Could be.
Maybe. Fuck it. I don't know. Thomas is saying the hero looks like he's putting on some weight.
Yes.
I don't know. I haven't seen him.
I mean, especially from what he used to look like back when he had his first NXT run, he was significantly smaller.
Well, how old was he at his last run? Versus now. I mean, how many years?
It was only, I believe it was 3 years ago.
Oh, really? That far? Oh, well, then he's a fat ass.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. He's not a fat ass.
But he definitely his image is definitely a lot different from his first run.
Is he debuting next week? Is that?
I don't think so. I don't think he was at the tapings. I want to say he was at a live event. I saw him. He came out.
Yeah. So that was a live event.
Yeah. I don't think it was the tapings though.
I looked like Full Sail. I don't know. All right.
Could be.
I mean, in fairness, I know people out there going, well, you can look and see. You can get spoilers on all the shows this month for NXT.
Sure.
We just don't want to do that. I want to stay in suspense week to week.
I do too.
Yeah,
right.
This is how I want to roll. So here we go. Number 3 was Prepare for Neutering, and this was all about the Revival, DIY, and Authors of Pain. And we talked about TM61.
Mm-hmm.
And you said there was an injury report here.
That's true. Let me see. Because TM61, they were set to they were going to start a program with
Revival,
correct.
which would propel them up in the division.
Right. But it was just been reported that Shane Thorne, he suffered an injury at the January 5th NXT tapings from Full Sail, and he's set to go knee surgery.
So that's going to have him out for a while. So with that said, with Revival not having this TM61 feud to propel them, is it now time for Revival to maybe the Monday or Tuesday after Royal Rumble to go ahead and make their main event roster? Which is why I call this preparing to be neutered, because we know that Revival had the number one match of the year versus DIY
2 out of 3
at Toronto.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I don't care who you are. There's been a lot of good matches, most of them from NXT. That match was just awesome.
Off the charts.
Off the fucking charts. So, again, like we talked about, I'm afraid, Brian, Revival goes up to main roster and they get their nuts cut off.
They get the Gallows and Anderson treatment.
I don't know if they'll get Gallows and Anderson treatment because Vince, I think he likes kind of the brainbusters thing they got going on. And their NXT, bred here. They're not New Japan guys.
Sure.
I mean, I don't know their full indie history, but they've made a name for themselves in NXT, not New Japan or Ring of Honor or TNA. So maybe they'll get a bigger push than Gallows and Anderson. But for me as a wrestling fan, I don't see their style being pushed on or being moved up with them to the main roster. I see it more of a knockdown, more of a storyline, 5-minute matches. Nothing like we saw here today.
I mean, I guess it really depends on where they go. If they go to SmackDown, I could see them kind of, they instantly will elevate that division. Right away, just give it credibility because SmackDown, they've got teams right now, but no one really is kind of grabbing that,
the brass ring.
Exactly. I didn't want to say it. I was waiting for you.
Well, but I mean, I don't want to say that because they're not getting opportunities to even be on TV.
Sure. And I wonder if because of this injury, because they were going to work with Revival, that's going to shake things up as far as the, there's going to be kind of waves going to the other teams too, because now that means someone's going to have to stick around to wrestle these guys.
Well, yeah. So we got DIY, which again on that list we'll talk about later. They're saying that they're kind of in the class to be moved up soon, and they're going to be taking on Authors of Pain officially at NXT Takeover in San Antonio. So that match is something that we can call when we get closer to it.
Yeah.
But what other tag teams feel the loss of the division if the Revival does move up and maybe DIY does as well? So, Authors of Pain will be top of the division or even DIY. TM61, who knows when they're, back in shape because of injury. Blake and Murphy are no longer a tag team. They're singles guys now. They're probably going to move up the next class of people at NXT, headlining the events and everything. You have the team of Angelo Dawkins and Montez Ford, who hasn't made a TV debut. They did the pre-taping or the pre-show for the TV taping, so we haven't seen them on TV yet. I'm just trying to think of all the tag teams I can throw in a division here.
I mean, why not throw? They can, they need a team right there. There's one right there. Put them right there. Throw them in there.
Yeah,
why not?
Put them in there. So I just. We always do this. Oh, if we lose Revival and we lose DIY, then what's going to be left in the division?
Sure.
And they always come back with it.
Right.
So I'm not afraid. I'm just curious who these next tag teams are. I don't think Sabatini and whatever his name was from last week.
Riddick Moss. I don't think that's you think that's an actual tag team? Or is that just two developmental guys? I thought that was just guys that they just threw together.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm curious to see who the tag division, how it rebuilds itself after these mainstays kind of move up.
Sanity?
Well, I was thinking Sanity. Maybe the what's the dude's name? The German
Big Damo. Well, I think he has a different name in NXT.
Well, what's it? The German dude though with the flipped over white hair. I can't remember his damn name. I never remember. Oh, Alexander Wolf.
Yes,
Alexander Wolf. So
yes.
Maybe him and the Big Damo guy.
Right.
Maybe they do the thing. I have no idea. All right. So interesting. We'll see how that goes as far as that. Yeah. Tag division. I'm curious. I'm just fucking curious. I don't know. All right. Let's. Brian, you ready to do this?
I am, brother.
And here we go, our spotlight segment for this week. Our spotlight segment for this week, Brian.
Our spotlight segment for this week.
Spotlight segment for this week. That was very difficult. We were just having some speech problems.
What was the
today.
word I said before?
I don't remember.
Formulamatic.
Now
I can say it.
Now you can say it.
Wow.
No pressure.
No, Jesus.
Wow. What are you doing over there? Shots of Jaeger, loosening it up?
No, water and Starbucks, brother.
All right, so we're going to pass it over to Brian to give us a little Samoa Joe love.
So I just wanted to fill you in a little bit on, because I know, obviously you've seen him in NXT. You've seen a lot of his work, and I just wanted to see. I was like, Rob, what do you know about Samoa Joe?
What do I know about Samoa Joe? I know what Adam and you have gushed to each other or to me about him from TNA.
Okay.
I have watched one match. Looking back, I've watched one match of him in TNA probably 10 years after the fact.
Sure.
And I know him from NXT, and that is, I don't know. I know he did some New Japan stuff.
Pro Wrestling Noah.
Okay, but he was in Japan.
Yes.
Okay, and from you, I've heard he was in Ring of Honor. So for me, before NXT, Samoa Joe is a very much a mystery. So please, teach me, Brian. Teach me. Who is Samoa Joe?
Born March 17th, 1979. He's 37 years old. In Orange County, California.
Young
6'2", 282.
Woo. You're 6'2", right?
I am about like 6'1.5".
So he's probably you guys are probably comparable in height, but he's got you definitely in width.
Yeah, about. He debuted in 1999. He's the first graduate of the UIWA West Coast Dojo.
What is that?
It's a school out in California.
Ooh, okay.
And he was trained by Cincinnati Red and Johnny Hemp.
By the Cincinnati Reds?
Yes.
Like Marge Schott?
Yeah. He was trained by Marge Schott.
Okay.
But I found out about Joe. I remember it was back in 2000, 2001. They put out these UPW training tapes.
UPW.
Yes, Ultimate Professional Wrestling. They were basically the company before OVW. They were more of the almost their developmental. They had a lot of guys. John Cena actually is one of his.
Right.
He was on the tapes with Samoa Joe and Christopher Daniels.
So the training tapes. These are things for people at home.
It was very weird. It was before Tough Enough. People they produced. It was a 3-tape series.
Mm-hmm.
One was chain wrestling. One was bumps, and then another one was slams.
So it just taught you how to do stuff.
They were essentially they were kind of pulling the curtain behind, and
so
showing.
It's like that flamenco guitar player guy who's like, you can play guitar in 3 episodes.
Right.
Okay,
and I had all 3 actually.
You did.
I did. Oh, maybe that's Samoa Joe.
Let's see before. Okay, who we got on the line?
Woo! Mean Gene Roadie Rob, yeah. Listen, pal, I just wanted to make sure that you know that I am the limousine riding, jet flying, kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun that can make every girl cry, even that fat one over there, yeah.
All right, Nature Boy, I appreciate you calling in, man.
I will never retire, yeah.
Woo! I'm feeling you. All
Thanks,
right,
Nate.
Nature. All right, so let's talk about some Samoa Joe. Continue, please.
So he actually had a feud with John Cena pre-WWE.
Okay.
And that was back in 2000, 2001.
Okay.
And then he famously he started his career with Ring of Honor at their first ever shows.
Okay,
so Joe was there from the ground up with Ring of Honor.
Okay, so he feuded with Cena. Was it Prototype Cena? That
I don't know if he was still doing Prototype, but if it was UPW, then yeah, he probably was.
Okay, so he left. Joe was part of WWE developmental, basically.
He had a developmental contract.
Okay,
yeah.
okay,
and he was working with Cena, correct?
And they passed him over, or he left, whatever the case may be.
He left,
and he essentially founded, as talent-wise, Ring of Honor.
Correct.
Okay, continue.
And that was back in 2002. He held their world championship belt for a record 21 months from May 2003 till December of 2004.
When Ring of Honor first came in, was there a heavy competition as far as talent goes with a lot of known people, made men?
I mean, not really with WWE, but they were basically they were the first real indie to kind of grab all of the stars from all over really the world.
Okay.
But I mean, they took, Samoa Joe, Low Key, Xavier, Christopher Daniels, Brian Kendrick, Paul London, AJ Styles. I mean, I can rattle them off. All those guys started in Ring of Honor.
Okay.
So it's strange to see all of them finally 15 years later.
I'm going to want to have a Ring of Honor conversation with you eventually one day.
I'd love to.
I really would. But okay, finish on.
And then he had his whole Ring of Honor career, some notable feuds, CM Punk, Nigel McGuinness, who just signed on. He's the guy that's going to be the one of the commentators for the new WWE UK tournament.
Oh, Nigel, yes.
Good old Nigel.
Right, okay,
right.
Moving on.
Christopher Daniels, El Generico, a.k.a. Sami Zayn.
Yeah.
Kevin Steen.
Yeah. Notable rivalries.
Really, yeah. I mean, it's
Samoa
we'll
Joe.
Have to have it. Yeah, exactly. We'll have to have a Ring of Honor night.
Did we have a Samoa Joe KO NXT match? I can't remember. I want to say we.
I think we did.
We did.
We did.
It's before Joe turned heel. Before he went heel, because he came in face.
Yes.
Yes.
Right.
Okay.
He joined TNA in June 2005, and he was there for a good 10 years. So that's where a lot of, he had these matches before in Ring of Honor, and over time, TNA started to absorb some of the talent with Ring of Honor, and you saw a lot of these matches now on TNA TV. Some of which Kurt Angle, well, obviously he wasn't Ring of Honor, so I guess that's a bad example.
Sure.
But Christopher Daniels and AJ Styles, that's one of the matches that I.
Yeah, I was going to ask you about that as far as so Samoa Joe. I didn't know Ring of Honor at all. I knew he was forever in TNA, and that he was the legend of Joe comes mainly from TNA.
He was spinning his wheels for a very long time, and he definitely had a very good career there. But
and I know that there was an intense rivalry with AJ Styles through the duration, right?
Absolutely.
So, would you say that in vice versa on this, that with no AJ there would be no Joe? Or with no Joe, there'd be no AJ? Or do you think they could have held it on their own? But
no, I mean, they definitely could have held it on their own. But, I mean, that's one of those feuds where you can just always go back to the well, and you know that those guys are going to deliver. I mean, almost like HBK, Bret Hart,
right.
Rock, Austin, the list goes on.
Just, okay, we need something going on. You two tangle it up again.
Exactly,
okay.
Exactly. But I'll just read it off. 18-month undefeated streak.
Woo.
5-time X Division champion.
Oh, I didn't know that.
2-time tag champ.
Okay.
He was a 1-time television champion, and he's a TNA Triple Crown winner and a Grand Slam winner. And also one of my favorite things, he was part of the infamous Main Event Mafia.
Again, it's something I'm very ignorant on that I'd love to learn more about.
And I stress infamous.
Okay. JVL Shadow is saying that it's like Austin and Triple H.
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly.
Thomas saying that Vince can't stand Joe, and I've heard that Vince can't stand Joe.
He was one of those guys that everyone there was always the rumor that he's coming to WWE, but he wasn't his body type. Obviously, it's not the prototypical one that Vince has liked in the past, but we've seen that obviously change with Kevin Owens, so that's out the window. So I mean, I think that's the biggest knock against him. But I mean, really, there's guys that are going to be exemption. Vader. I mean, he's a big fat guy, but he's a monster that can move. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, it's Joe's a big dude, but I don't look at him and go, "Look at that fat son of a bitch." I don't. I look at that and go, "That's a big fucking Samoan," but not like Yokozuna big Samoan. He's a, I don't know. Joe's a big boy.
Yeah,
but I don't think he's a fat boy.
Exactly, I agree.
He might like a Cheeto from here, time to time, but I'm sure he does a little protein shake to get followed up, kind of thing. I don't know. All right, so that kind of brings us to the current. Edition of Joe.
Yeah, I mean, he left. He only left TNA in 2015. So I mean, it's crazy to think that
really recently.
Yeah, it just feels like he's had this just month after month long feud with Shinsuke. It just feels like he's been here for a very long time. But to think about that, he's only been here since. Yeah, it's only been that short of time.
I think we've seen him with KO. We've seen him with Finn, and we've seen with Shinsuke, right? I mean, that's the three main kind of feuds he had in NXT so far, and it feels like, and they were all fabulous feuds with great matches. I don't know. Let's see. JBL Shadow saying that Joe's ceiling in WWE is Umaga, as long as Vince is in charge.
I don't think so. I just read some reports that he's poised to get some big. I think we'll be saying his name a lot around WrestleMania time.
I think that if Vince. If they bring up Joe and then they squash him, a la Umaga, or they push him and then they just cut him short, I think that is going to go against Vince very negatively. I think people will know that is a spiteful fucking move because Joe has proven himself in NXT to bring money to the company, number one,
Absolutely.
First and foremost, right?
Yeah.
But also the fans gravitate to him. He is as far as product goes, he is an asset to as a product.
Yeah. Me personally, I don't think I'll see. That won't happen. You're not going to see Joe get neutered like that. I think he's going to be able to. Honestly, I think he would leave before his character takes a hit like that.
Okay.
I mean, it's already happened in TNA, so why would he? I'm sure he wouldn't want it to happen twice.
Well, Brian, I really appreciate the education, the spotlight segment. Samoa Joe. If you didn't know Samoa Joe, like me, because I really didn't know Samoa Joe, then this is some awesome shit right here. If you knew Samoa Joe, you might have gone to use the bathroom and had a coffee and a cigarette, whatever you do.
Right.
But thank you, Brian, for the education.
Hey, man.
Let's see here. John Estrada on the board. Sup, everybody? What's up, John?
What's up, John?
Thomas says Brian, who's getting called up first, Joe or Nakamura? Who's getting up first, Joe or Nakamura?
Joe.
Joe first.
I think Joe at the Rumble.
I think Joe at the Rumble, too.
And that's one of those things that, obviously creative likes to surprise people. So at this point, that's one of the rumors that's already out there. Everyone already assumes that Joe's going to be at the Rumble. So hopefully they don't pull the rug out just to
fool us.
Right.
Yeah.
I think it's some things are meant to happen, and I think Joe showing up at the Rumble, that's the perfect time to bring him in.
Well, it's one of them things where you can't keep a lot of secrets anymore in the industry, and sometimes we hear about the secrets and we're like, cool. It doesn't even need to be a surprise. The fans are behind it. We want it to happen. You don't need to fool us on that. So, we know Joe is going to he should premiere at Royal Rumble. So when we see him, we're still going to mark out. We're still going to pop.
At number 7, he said, remember?
The number 7.
Yeah.
We'll see. He did say 7. So we'll still mark out for it. We'll still pop. So hopefully he comes out like we all think he will. Okay, so there's our Spotlight 7, the NXT Open. Nakamura had a brief little interview about Bobby Roode. Nothing too big, just, tell him that he's pretty, but he's no match. He won't win. So we'll see how that I'm curious to see how those two styles really blend in the ring, Brian.
Yeah, I mean, Bobby Roode, he's not necessarily, I wouldn't call him a striker, so they're definitely going to have some clashes as far as ring styles.
Bobby Roode is, I don't know what I'd define him as, but he is an 80s style wrestler.
Absolutely.
He definitely is. I mean, there's some grapple, some strike, but it's more, with him, it's more the performance and the pageantry than the actual wrestling ability. He has wrestling ability.
I agree. Yeah, that's a very good assessment.
But it is more about the pageantry and the performance than a specific type. See, JVL Shadow, Joe enters at 10.
10, okay.
Auto heat because he's not Dillinger. And I had said on our other show that I think the perfect entrant at 10 would be Ty Dillinger.
Right, same thing. I mean, if you're going to bring him up, I mean, even if we already know that it's going to happen, who cares?
But who cares? Who cares? Because it's perfect.
Right, don't you want them to kind of know that they're coming so that his reaction is...
Matter of fact, look here, Vince, or whoever's doing Kevin Dunn or whoever. As you're booking the Rumble, if you haven't already done all of it, if it's not in stone, and I don't think it is, I would say this. Get it out there, leak it, that Dillinger's going to be number 10 in the Rumble. Leak it, right? Just some off-the-cuff kind of send a camera guy out, let him talk to somebody like us, right? And then the crowd starts to learn about it after rumors swirl, and then from once the minute number 9 hits the ring to the last minute before 10 comes in, the crowd is just doing nothing but this. 10, 10, 10. They're chanting 10 for an entire minute in anticipation of Dillinger. And then when he does show up, the pop in that building will blow the fucking roof off.
I agree.
Why wouldn't you do that? I don't know.
I don't know, man.
I don't know.
We'll see.
What were we talking about? I got excited there for a minute.
I don't know. You went in your whole 10 zone.
Yeah, Nakamura. Nakamura or Joe. Joe goes first. Nakamura. I think Nakamura does. We don't see Nakamura on the main roster till after Mania. I don't see a reason to not to have him on the main roster or to take him off of NXT until after Mania.
I mean, honestly, I don't really see him coming up. I think he'll stick around.
Yeah,
through the summer.
Well, we've had that talk. I don't know if the main roster crowds can handle him. I really don't. Oh, put my phone on silent there. Okay, so there you go. There's the Spotlight segment. So I just want to plug Monday Night Rawsome following Monday Night Raw. That's our show here on YouTube, also on Podbean, iTunes, and other providers. Tuesday night, we got SmackDown with Adam Bomb and the rest of the lovable crew doing the SmackDown reaction and review show there. Don't forget, every Thursday here about 3:30, we're going to try to do for our Takedown show, talking about NXT. We got our indie show we're working on right now. That would premiere soon.
We got the wheels going.
We got the wheels going on the indie show, so that should be fun. And before we get to the big question, I do want to plug a couple things. Don't forget WrestlingRadioAwards.com. Please go there and vote for us for best show and best new show. You know,
those two.
We're swinging for best new show.
That's where, I would. That'd be a good thing to.
And you can vote every day, once a day, every day.
Once a day.
Put it on a recurring alarm on your phone that every day at a certain time it says, "Go vote for Marked Out Wrestling Podcast."
Or you can just tell me your phone number and I'll call you at a certain time, and we can do it that way.
And then you'll probably get some inappropriate pics about 3 a.m. when Brian's drunk.
No, you'll just get a lot of obscure wrestling links.
Oh, he'll do that.
Yeah,
he'll do that. Like what the fuck? Okay, Brian. So go do that. There's somebody on the nomination board that I really want to beat. So please do that. I really want to beat this guy. Also, we got our award show coming up at our one year anniversary show, which is the Royal Rumble 100 show. All right, I missed a call. Sorry.
Did you?
Yeah. Oops. But we got our so don't forget to go to markedOutWrestling.com and you can vote on our first annual Smart Mark Awards. Some stuff about our show, some stuff about WWE, things like that. So we got submissions coming in all the time. So come in there and vote for your best host, your best show. You know, you can vote for us, me and Brian here.
Vote for me, man.
For Takedown show.
Yeah, we're right here.
The Highbrow show, the Smart Mark show.
That's right.
Highbrow. So do that. All right. So here we go. The big question of the night. So this is not a planned segment here. This is kind of replace our final thoughts. I'll go to you, Brian, first. And
sure.
To me, what's your big question that you want answered for next week?
My big question.
Mm-hmm.
Let me look at the card right here.
Look at the card.
Let me see here.
Look at the card. What you got? The big question. And you guys out there on the board, you tell us what your big question for next week is as well. That's what we want.
I mean, I guess I really want to see. I want to see how it works out between Nakamura and, honestly, actually, no, here we go. I want to see if Joe shows up. I want to see what they do with him as far as, is he just going to be kept off TV? Are they going to bring him into, in some capacity? Is he going to have any kind of, swan song for NXT before he goes to the Rumble?
All right,
or the proverbial debut.
This house shows, I don't know. I mean, we got 2 weeks till Rumble. Roughly,
that's it. That's it.
Maybe they want to make sure he's healthy for a debut. Maybe they keep him off.
I think, maybe. I don't know.
Well, that's your big question there. Real quick, JVL Shadow. Let's see, John Estrada. I want Ty to be brought up, but we all know he's going to be put aside, just like Breeze and Vaudevillains. You're right. I agree with that. He'll be misused.
I agree, and to no fault of his own.
To no fault, yeah. I think he's great, but I just don't see a role from up there. JVL Shadow, after chanting all those 10s, and then Joe shows up, the boos would be more heat than anyone on the roster.
If he takes him out in the backstage or something.
Well, that too, but just if they teased Dillinger for 10,
sure,
and then Joe pops in,
right?
That'd
be great. Right. That'd be a very memorable debut.
Yeah, there'd be a lot of heat in that room.
Oh yeah.
And like you said, more heat just for debuting.
Sure.
Yeah. So that'd be fun. Let's see here. It wouldn't be his fault though. Yes, that's true, John. When is the Royal Rumble? The 29th. The Royal Rumble is on the 29th, if you didn't know that. Steve Austin's letting us know. We got 1 week left to vote for the the Wrestling Radio Awards. So make sure you get on that like we just said. Jonathan wants to know if Paige will be at the Royal Rumble. I do not think so, Jonathan. And John Estrada's big question is, who's next to go against Nakamura or Joe? Anyone else aside from Rude? Which kind of echoes onto my big question. My big question is, do we see the Revival and Joe again? So I'm kind of echoing you as well. Do we see them again, or are we done with them until a main roster debut?
No, I think Revival will be there.
Do you think so?
Yeah, I don't think they're getting called up just yet. But Joe, I could see them leaving off TV until his eventual debut, I'll say, because I'm crossing my fingers.
Yeah, I mean, if we learn anything from Shelton Benjamin is, once they've decided to bump somebody up, a big name, they probably don't need to work them. Because Shelton hurt himself with a big debut coming. Maybe they don't want Joe to fuck himself up.
Sure.
Let's see. JVL Shadow saying Eric Young. There's another big question. What is Eric Young ceiling in NXT?
I can see him more playing the role that he's doing right now. He's got his stable going on. I could see him just kind of being the leader for them, but not really kind of going towards that main event. I could see him more of like an upper mid card.
So he was with Ring of Honor and TNA, right?
He was a TNA guy.
TNA guy. Okay, I remember Team Canada, a few little things
Yep.
here and there, mainly from the X Division tapes.
Actually,
CDs.
he's a former world champion. When Daniel,
okay, that was my question. Was
Right.
Eric Young a top card guy?
at a certain point he was.
Okay.
However, this was during a weird time. If you'll remember, this was right around the time when Daniel Bryan was white hot and he had his giant beard.
Yeah.
World champion. TNA in their wisdom. They put the belt on Eric Young because Eric Young had a big beard, and so he was an undercard,
like it was
an
trending.
underdog, right?
Yeah.
So they kind of followed the same formula because they're like, hey, if it works over there, I'm Dixie Carter. I can do the same thing and it'll work.
Somebody fucked up that company. I don't know.
I
don't know. I don't know what their name is.
Maybe
it was Billy Corgan.
I don't
think so.
I don't know. They just rebranded. They got a new logo.
Yeah,
and there's an owl on it.
And apparently Jeff Jarrett's coming back, as we've heard.
He's a consultant for them.
I don't
think.
care.
And Rob, I forgot. I have something for you too from 1 Hour Tees.
Oh, is this my my Secret Santa gift?
It finally came. Nice catch.
Oh, right here on camera.
It's already open.
Oh, it is open.
It's already open.
Did you wear it?
I already wore it.
You
too.
did?
I already wore it.
Did you dance naked in?
No, not yet.
Let's see. It's the yeah, there it is.
There we go. Right.
Yes, make a good lucha thing. Awesome, Brian. Thank you.
Secret Santa about 15 days late.
Oh, good. You got me a double XL. So you think I'm that fat? Huh?
No,
I'm fucking with you.
Right size?
Yeah, it's right size. It's an adult version, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna wear the shit out of that.
There we go.
I'm gonna wear that Mania weekend when we're down in Orlando. Yeah. So, all right, guys. Any big questions on the board yet? We got Jonathan Durant. Wait. So what the hell happened to the gold standard? I don't know what he's talking about.
I don't know. Shelton Benjamin.
Yeah. Oh,
that's what he's asking.
Okay. He messed his shoulder injury.
It was
right?
his shoulder, and I know he had surgery on it at some point, but that was, this was going back a few months now. So whether maybe he's still rehabbing or I don't know. He hasn't really.
It's got to be time, right? It's got to be kind of time for him to get back in. I don't know. We'll bring that one up another time. Big question for Thomas is, what's the chance Omega jumps? We had that conversation briefly on the other show. And I think Bob's question to us was, do we see him doing anything but NXT? And me and you both were in agreement that, yes, we would. But then after thinking about it, I don't see Omega going straight to main roster.
No,
if he came.
Yeah. Oh, so if you're asking whether or not first of all,
does he show up at a WWE event, period, NXT, main roster, whatever?
If it happens, it's not going to be anytime soon. He actually... Earlier this week, he had tweeted out that he was gonna, it was really just kind of to stir the pot.
Yeah.
His contract is going to be, I believe it's through January 30th, and the Rumble is January 28th. So
right.
There were, people were speculating that maybe he makes the jump and goes to, and shows up at the Rumble and surprises everyone, but that's not in the cards.
But if you're not a huge wrestling fan, you might not know who Kenny Omega is.
Yeah, he doesn't really have that name in the States, but in Japan, he's.
So maybe Bob is right. Maybe if he does jump ship, it's going to be NXT. And the question is, would he want to go from the crowds he was getting in Japan to come to an NXT show, or maybe would he try to propel Ring of Honor or TNA more in their status with his name?
Yeah, honestly, I really think everything that he's been doing, that's just more storyline driven, and he's going to be staying with New Japan. I don't see him coming to WWE anytime soon.
You think he's going to stay with New Japan?
Yeah, I do.
Okay. Well, there's your big answer for your big question, Thomas. I'm surprised big names came on the show. Yeah, Jonathan, we had some big names calling.
We did,
yeah.
But that's what happens on a Thursday at 3:30.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, guys. So that's basically our show. Don't forget, again, don't join us Monday night and Tuesday night, and then we'll be back here next Thursday afternoon as well for another NXT segment. Still working on some interviews. We got some things lined up. That'll be fun. We can get to that point. If you're a wrestler out there listening by chance, NXT would be preferable. But if you're not, that's cool. I don't, whatever. Want to talk to anybody? Yeah. Give us a call. Let's talk. Let's chat. I don't give a shit about what.
Love to.
We'll talk. We don't want to geek out on all kinds of shoot on the company questions.
Sure.
If you are a talent listening, what we want to know on this show is kind of the road of developmental. I want to know we want to know about trainers, and we want to know about what you're learning and what progression you went from where you were before to where you are now. That's what we want to know. We want to know the creation process, the maturation of a professional wrestler nowadays in this market.
Everything that you just said, that sounds phenomenal.
So,
and I urge you.
So, yes, there we go. All right, Thomas, thank you, man. Jonathan, let's see who all we had engaging. It's so cool. I can look different stuff up now. Participants.
What do you mean?
All we got right now is Jonathan, JVL, Shadow, Thomas. Thank you to Steve Awesome. I'll tell you about it later, Brian.
Gotcha.
Don't hit your head over it. We appreciate everybody listening very much. We will be back here Monday night, like I said. And, yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. See you.
Thanks, guys.
I'll catch you on the flip side.
Marked Out Podcast is recorded, edited, distributed, and marketed at U-Record Studios in Charlotte, North Carolina. For more information on optimizing your podcast for increased listenership, check out U-Record on Facebook, Twitter, and email sales@urecordstudios.com or visit the website www.urecordstudios.com.
Yes! 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 Yes!
You're listening to the Electronic Media Collective Podcast Network. Yeah, it's a mouthful. For more great shows, visit electronicmediacollective.com.